There are 3 faithful friends, an old wife, an old dog, and ready money. Change of fortune hurts a wise man no more than a change of the moon. Choose your love, then love your choice. Speed will get you nowhere if you are headed in the wrong direction. Good things come to those who wait. When the law is against you, argue the facts. When the facts are against you, argue the law. When both are against you, change the subject. Cherish youth, but trust old age. The happiest place in the world to live is within one's income. Never ask a barber if you need a haircut. Hear the evidence before you pass sentence. Don't give the people what they want, give them what they need. Some folks speak from experience, others, from experience, don't speak. Fair and softly goes far in a day. The obvious choice is usually a quick regret. The more responsibilities a man assumes, the more likely he is to meet them. Be slow in choosing a friend, but slower in changing him. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Self-help is the best help. Experience is a dear school, but fools learn in no other. Ability will enable a man to get to the top, but character will keep him from falling. Always count the cost. Quiet people, whether wise or dull, get the benefit of the doubt. Not he who has many ideas, but he who has one conviction may become a great man. Never trust a man who doesn't trust others. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Many a true word is spoken in jest. Success has many parents, but failure is an orphan. Not all danger comes with a warning. The most destructive criticism is indifference. Strike while your employer has a big contract. Never get in a battle of wits without ammunition. Bad actions lead to worse reactions. Children are often coming without being called. A man who is his own lawyer has a fool for his client. Twin fools, one doubts nothing, the other everything. Use your wit as a shield, not as a dagger. Coming events cast their shadows before. Advice, when most needed, is least heeded. Absence kills a little love, but makes the big ones grow. Pain is forgotten where gain comes. Don't meet trouble halfway. Young courage and old caution are a strong pair. In a united family, happiness springs up of itself. Old debts are never paid, and the new ones get old easily. We judge others by their acts, but ourselves by our intentions. True generosity is the ability to accept ingratitude. Nobody has ever bet enough on a winning horse. Never drop the friends you made on the way up. You may need them on the way down. Blessed are they who expect nothing, for they will not be disappointed. Don't let yesterday use up too much of today. Distrust and caution are the parents of security. There are three kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those who don't know what's happening. A vicious man cannot appreciate the graces of a virtuous wife. Judge not by the eye, but by the heart. None are deceived, but they that confide. Take a friend for what he does, a wife for what she has, and goods for what they are worth. Your failures could be stepping stones to success. Fidelity is a noble virtue, yet justice is nobler still. Bad to do evil, but worse to boast about it. In order to judge another's feelings, remember your own. Marrying for love is risky, but God smiles on it. Don't marry without love, but don't love without reason. A great talker may be no fool, but he is one who relies on him. Good fences make good neighbors. . Opportunity seldom knocks twice. The secret of life is not to do what you like, but to like what you do. Just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Fortune is like price: if you can wait long enough, the price will fall. Follow not truth too near the heels, lest it dash out your teeth. Few things are easy to the unwilling. Never miss a good chance to shut up. If you want to know the value of money, try borrowing some. It is easy for a man in health to preach patience to the sick. The only sure thing about luck is that it's sure to change. Death always comes out of season. Your first accident may be your last. He who seeks equality should go to the cemetery. Hard work never did anyone any harm. The good lawyer knows the law, the clever one knows the judge. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. The difference between adults and children is that adults don't ask questions. Ask no questions and hear no lies. Eavesdroppers never hear any good of themselves. When a father praises his son, he flatters himself. If the defendant is silent, the jury will think him guilty. The way to avoid great faults is to be aware of little ones. If you take care of your character, your reputation will take care of itself. A rather sure way to be cheated is to think one's self more clever than other people. Begin in time to finish without hurry. In great action, men show themselves as they ought to be, in small action as they are. The best way to get even is to forget. Adversity does best discover virtue. Man's only real possession is his character. Children should be seen and not heard. True worth is in being, not seeming. It is better to be right than in the majority. The best part of a book is not the thought it contains, but the thought it suggests. Study the past if you would divine the future. One half the troubles in this world can be traced to saying yes too quick or saying no not soon enough. Be satisfied with the needs instead of the wants. The best place for criticism is in front of the mirror. A brother may not be a friend. A long life may not be good enough, but a good life is long enough. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Force, no matter how concealed, begets resistance. Nothing can suffice a person except that which they have not. Professionals built the Titanic, amateurs built the Ark. There's no advice like Father's, even if you don't take it. If you are always dwelling in trouble, change your address. Home is the father's kingdom, the children's paradise, the mother's world. If men could see the epitaphs their friends write, they would believe they had gotten into the wrong grave. Colleges hate geniuses, just as convents hate saints. A man chases a woman until she catches him. Ask a silly question, and you'll get a silly answer. Never be content with your lot. Try for a lot more. Compromise makes a good umbrella, but a poor roof. If your time has not come, not even a doctor can kill you. Courtesy on one side only never lasts for long. Through wisdom is a house built, and by understanding it is established. When the bait's worth more than the fish, it's time to stop fishing. If anything can go wrong, it will. Some pursue happiness, others create it. Beware the anger of a patient man. It takes half your life to learn who your friends are, and the other half to keep them. If fools went not to market, bad wares would not be sold. One foot is better than two crutches. The greatest strength is gentleness. You never know what you can do until you try. Age gives good advice when it is no longer able to give a bad example. Love many, trust few, and always paddle your own canoe. Character is what we are, reputation is what others think we are. Live your own life, for you die your own death. A diplomat is a man who always remembers a woman's birthday, but never her age. Confidence of success is almost success. You can build a house, but you must make a home. Candor once went further boldly and in smiles, but it crept home in tatters and tears. Fact can be stranger than fiction. Getting what you go after is called success, but liking it while you are getting it is called happiness. There is delight in danger and danger in delight. To know where you are going, you first have to know where you have come from. To have a friend, close one eye, to keep him, close both. The less we know, the more we suspect. The cemeteries are filled with people who thought the world couldn't get along without them. Old shoes wear best. Doubt whom you will, but never doubt yourself. More die of food than famine. A deaf husband and a blind wife are always a happy couple. You can fool an old horse once, but you can't fool him twice. Hope is a good breakfast, but a poor supper. To be successful in love, one must know how to begin and when to stop. There are two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. Reading makes a full man, meditation a profound man, discourse a clear man. In this world, nothing is permanent except change. You can't kid your conscience. Everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Borrowed wives, like borrowed books, are seldom returned. The passions are like fire and water, good servants but bad masters. The only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way you use them. The baby who always gets carried will never learn to walk. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. You are judged not by what you have, but by what you do with what you have. The easiest way to get a divorce is to be married. When you argue with a fool, make sure he is not doing the same. When you know a man, you know his face, but not his heart. Never judge by first impressions. Through other people's faults, wise men correct their own. Many people are smart, but few are wise. Your best friend is yourself. The way of the troublemaker is thorny. We ain't what we want to be, we ain't what we gonna be, but thank God, we ain't what we was. Respect everyone, but lower yourself to no one. Necessity never made a good bargain. Don't do to others what you would not have done to you. There is a right time and place for everything. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. Quitters never win and winners never quit. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. There's two theories to arguing with a woman. Neither one works. Man changes often, but improves seldom. You already possess everything necessary to become great. The early bird may catch the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. You are never too young to die. It's easier to lose faith than to find it again. What a fool does in the end, the wise man does in the beginning. Defeat isn't bitter if you don't swallow it. Don't be afraid to cry. It will free your mind of sorrowful thoughts. Slow and steady wins the race. The heart has arguments with which the understanding is unacquainted. It's not the gale, but the set of the sail, that determines the way you go. It is the trapped animal that makes the most noise. What you think you are, until you think otherwise. Calmness is a great advantage. Every new day is another chance to change your life. Rather than run into debt, wear your old coat. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past, wisdom is of the future. If you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. One of the greatest labor-saving inventions of today is tomorrow. A friend's envy is worse than an enemy's hatred. You can bear with your own faults, and why not a fault in your wife? Be civil to every man, you know not who may prove to be your friend. Never try to prove what nobody doubts. Listen with your heart. Learn from your experiences, and always be open to new ones. Learn as you'd live forever, live as you'd die tomorrow. We do not inherit the land from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. The only thing we learn from new elections is we learned nothing from the old. It is senseless to fight when you cannot hope to win. People seeking a myth will usually find one. Your own faults look as big to the other fellow as his do to you. Things will take years to create, but minutes to destroy. Wise men learn from other men's mistakes, fools insist on learning from their own. Pay attention to the whispers, so we won't have to listen to the screams. A man in passion rides a mad horse. Thoughts are like arrows. Once released, they strike their mark. Guard them well, or one day you may be your own victim. Folks spend their health to acquire wealth, and later, spend their wealth in an effort to regain their health. Great ideas are nothing without follow-through. If you don't have a plan for yourself, you'll be part of someone else's. Don't talk unless you can improve the silence. Whether you look for happiness or disappointment, you will find it. Doctors' faults are covered with earth, and rich men's with money. Dreams are what you hope for, reality is what you plan for. A lean agreement is better than a fat judgment. A human learns how to talk early, but how to keep silent late. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. People's eyes say words that the tongue cannot pronounce. Patience is a tree whose root is bitter, but its fruit is very sweet. It is easy to be brave from a distance. Diligence is the mistress of success. Rise early, live soberly, and apply yourself with industry. To one who understands, few words are needed. Speak fair, think what you will. Liars begin by imposing on others, but end by deceiving themselves. Everyone who is successful must have dreamed of something. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. After a rich man gets rich, his next ambition is to get richer. When there is true hospitality, few words are needed. There are many who prefer to despise and belittle that which is beyond their reach. What the people believe is true. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool, than to speak and remove all doubt. It takes 9 months to have a baby, no matter how many people you put on the job. Old love and wood will burn as soon as they get the chance. The quickest way to double your money is to fold it over and put it back in your pocket. If your only tool is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. Before borrowing money from a friend, decide which you need most. No one else can represent your conscience. It is better to sit with a wise man in prison than with a fool in paradise. Take only memories. Leave only footprints. The only thing a heated argument ever produced is coolness. When you persuade, speak of interest, not of reason. You never know how lucky you really are, until your luck runs out. It requires more courage not to fight than to fight. Life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel. If we blame others for our failures, then we should also give others credit for our successes. It takes a smart woman to be a fool. The man who minds his own business generally has a good one. When pleasure interferes with business, give up business. Don't believe your enemy, even when he's telling the truth. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. You can't lose what you haven't got. When death knocks at your door, you must answer. None but the wise man can employ leisure well. Laws too gentle are seldom obeyed, too severe, seldom executed. The reason some people are stingy is also the reason they are rich. Men apt to promise are apt to forget. If you have wit and learning, add to it wisdom and modesty. Business goes where it is invited and stays where it is well treated. He who can take advice is sometimes superior to those who give it.